Hi guys, join me today as we have a super special episode of Studio Creative Kids as we launch and get ready for Thanksgiving with a double template of a special harvest corn and a Thanksgiving dinner plate. Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me today for another episode of Studio Creative Kids. I have a super fun episode for you today. We're gearing up for Thanksgiving next week, and I'm so thankful for you that I decided to launch 2 templates this week for you to have. One harvest corn and one Thanksgiving dinner plate. I'm so excited to bring these to you guys today. I hope you enjoy them with your family. Print as many as you want to. You can find these templates on our website at studiocreativekids.com. There should be a link in the video to bring you to those. You can scan the QR code on the template and it will bring you to the video to show you how to do it. All right, you guys, let's go have some fun. All right, so first we're gonna start with the Thanksgiving plate. I'm gonna set the harvest corn supplies aside and then we'll get started. The supplies I'm going to use for the Thanksgiving plate, I have the template. We have the Thanksgiving dinner. This little box here, you can draw any extra side. If I didn't already pre-draw the side that you like, your favorite part of the meal, feel free to draw your own item in there. Use an extra sheet of paper to add any add-ons that you would like to do in our Thanksgiving plate. We're going to use our Shuttle Art alcohol markers, our Just Art paint pens, acrylic paint pens, and then you know I love these fastener dots from the dollar store. We use them all the time in the episodes. I'm also going to use one of the 11 by 14 little cardboard sheets that I get off of Amazon. If you don't have these, you can just use a box or a bigger sheet of paper. I kind of like to think about this as like my placemat for the project. So anyways, let's get started. First, what I'm gonna do for my placemat is I'm just gonna draw out some little designs on here to make a little cute placemat for my plate to sit on. You know I like to layer art projects. So you can feel free to have creative reign for whatever or however you want to decorate your placemat. I may draw some lines with some leaves on it since we're going kind of harvest themed for Thanksgiving. Do that on this side too. And over here. And add some little swirls in there. All right, so I have my cute little placemat done. So now I'm gonna set that aside and we're gonna start working on our plate. All right, so on my plate, I want to draw some little decorative designs. So I'm going to get one of my markers here. And I'm just going to draw some little designs here on my plate. Just to give it a little pop of color before we start layering everything in on there. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna grab my Bic pen here. and just color in those designs. All right, so now that we've got some color on our plate, we're gonna grab our food template and start the coloring process of coloring that. So this template should go pretty fast when you're coloring it in and putting this project together. Let's see. Cue that music montage. Here's So on our dinner plate, we have our turkey leg here. We have our dinner roll. We have some cranberry sauce, which I don't eat, but I have family that loves a lot. We have green beans. I'm not sure yet what I'm gonna put in this box. This looks like a yummy Thanksgiving meal to me so far. And a piece of pumpkin pie. All of that sounds so good. Just gonna add some little extra elements to these, and you can if you want to. On yours, you can customize it however you want to. I'm just adding some dots and such in there to give them texture. For the green beans, since we're going to cut these out, I may just color here and there in between them to just kind of give it the look as if they're piled up on top of each other. Let's see here. I love these alcohol markers, how they color in and how you can just get layers of coloring and shading with them. It really makes the coloring process so much fun. Okay, now, don't forget you can use the edge of your paper to test your colors out. Let's color this cranberry sauce in here. All right, so I think in this square, what I'm gonna do is add a little scoop of mashed potatoes. We're gonna do the perspective of looking down on it. So the way we'll be able to capture this best is by the colors that we use. Just add a little hint of this. All right, you guys. Okay, so now that we have everything colored, what we're gonna do is cut everything out and then we'll place it together and we'll be finished with this project. Real quick before I cut them out, I'm gonna trace over these lines on my placemat. This will be a good time to throw your signature on there too, if you're doing this at school with your class. Okay. Right, we're almost done with this part. Oops. All right. All right, you guys, now we're gonna cut these out. All right, there's our plate. I just want to add like a little extra shadow on the inside of the plate. All right, now let's cut out our pieces. Remember too, when you're cutting out, you don't have to cut right at the black line. You can give it a little space around it. All right, you guys, so now we're gonna take all of our little elements. They look so cute. I'm gonna face this towards you guys. So what we're gonna do is, you know, I like to have elements raised off the art project. So what we're gonna do first is we are going to flip our plate upside down, and we're going to use the glue dots to add just a little bit of space. I think we'll only need 3. You know what? I'll go ahead and do 4. All right, so we're going to flip this over and we're going to set it on our board. And then what we're gonna do, maybe we'll start with our turkey leg first. We'll flip it upside down. We'll do one at the top and one toward the bottom. And we'll set it on our plate. Then how about we do the roll next? I'm just gonna put on these smaller ones. We'll just put one there. Let's add our green beans in the middle. Right there. Let's do our cranberry sauce just right over here by the turkey. We need to grab some more fastener dots. We're gonna put the mashed potatoes over here. And then look at that, we have the perfect spot for our little piece of pie. How cute is that? Actually, I'm gonna point our piece of pie that way. All right, you guys, here's our little turkey Thanksgiving dinner plate with all the goodies and all the yummies with our cute placemat. So this is part one of this part two. So I'm gonna clean my space and we'll come back and we'll do the cute harvest corn. All right, you guys, I'm really excited about this next template. It's a harvest corn template, so it's meant to have both sides colored, and then we're gonna place them together once we cut them out. First, what I think I'm gonna do is I have this paper here. I have 3 different shades of brown, 1 gray, because harvest corn, once you pull it out of the ground, it dries out a little bit. The leaves are kind of dried out and the color is a little brownish. So what I'm gonna take these little sheets of paper and I'm gonna cut those in a leaf shape, because once we get the corn colored, I'm gonna use these to attach to the top of my corn. And you won't need too many. A little bit will go a long way. What I'll even do is I'm gonna fold these and I'll take my Bic pen and I'll just put a line down the middle of them. Whoops, my line on that one got a little crooked, but I think it'll be okay. You know what, I'm just gonna do 2 more of these brownish colors. My paper there. Awesome, so I'm gonna set those aside. So for the corn, you can go realistic and stay in yellows, oranges, browns, or you can go colorful. It's really up to you. I think I might use my Just Art paint pens for this one. So what I'm gonna do is just color in these spaces, and then I'm just gonna pop around my piece of corn here and there and just get to coloring. I like to use, instead of switching colors every single time, that takes a lot longer time. You don't realize how long it takes for you to switch and go back and forth. I like to just take my color and color as much as I want with it while I have this one color out, and just go throughout my little art piece and just color with that one color. Then when I'm ready to switch, I'll do the same thing with my next color. So right here, I'm just taking my marker and just going over with just a lighter brown color to just kind of give it a little bit of shading along the edges. All right, look, and you know what? We can even use this marker here in the leaves to shade out these leaves. All right, so now we got to cut out. Just gonna go generally around the edges. I won't get too close to the curvy areas of the corn. I'm gonna turn my glue gun on too, just in case we're gonna need that. There's one. All right, so if I flip these right, then these, just like that, should fit back to make the piece of corn. What I'm gonna do too is I'm just gonna bend and crunch these pieces of paper a little bit to kind of give them the shape of the corn that sticks, is it the husk? That's it. Stick out the top. I think it's the husk. So what I'm gonna do is with my glue gun, I'm just gonna gently glue these together. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is glue them to the top of the husk, to the top of the corn cob. And you can also, with a stapler, like you can also just secure that, and you might want to just for extra measure. So we're going to do that same thing to this one on the back, for the back. Gonna glue these together. And we will attach them to corn. And you can kind of spread them out as you see them to be. And then I'm gonna staple that one. So what we're gonna have when we put these all together with the corn, with the husk sticking out the top. So what I'm gonna do here is with my glue gun, you could do this also with this, just the stapler if you're doing this in a class setting. And I may also go back with my stapler and secure the edges too. So I'm gonna piece these together And then I'll go back with my stapler because we want to put some corn kernels in there. So we want to make this a shaker. So at the top, I'm going to go ahead and secure it up here. I'm going to leave part of this open because on the side, because I want to attach, get this glue off my hands. I want to attach the corn inside. So I just want to make sure everything is secure so we don't lose our corn kernels when we put them in. Press this stapler down. Okay. All right, so on the inside, what we're gonna do is open this up a little bit and we're gonna get our kernels in there. You can even bend it out a little bit. You don't need a whole lot in there, maybe just 2 spoonfuls to make a good shaker. And then what we're gonna do is go ahead and put that glue line across the bottom. And we're gonna glue it shut and then go back with our stapler and secure the sides. And once you have it secure, you can kind of flip around and move it a little bit if you want to. And then you can also bend the husk down toward it if you want to. You just can kind of fold those down, leave some up if you want to. Woo! I've got a open spot in my corn. Let me put a little stitch of glue there and seal it shut. Okay, so while that's drying, what I'm gonna do is I have just a little piece of some orange fabric. You can get a fabric yard from Walmart for pretty cheap. I like to keep these around. I just cut them. I'll show you on this one. I just make a little cut with my scissors and just tear it whatever length I need it to be, and it makes a great inexpensive ribbon for whatever project you're doing. So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna make a little bow at the top of my corn husk. Like that. And then I'll just trim the edge. I'll trim this one a little bit. And then I also have this Rafa ribbon that I just love. It's so cool. It just adds a lot to the piece, and it kind of reminds me of the corn husk too. So I'm gonna add some of that at the top also. All right, you guys, so there we go, glue and all. Here's our little corn shaker, colorful harvest corn husk. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for another episode of Studio Creative Kids. I hope that you have an amazing Thanksgiving with your family. Remember to think about all the things that you're thankful for. I'm so thankful for all of you guys that tune into these shows week after week. I appreciate you guys. Have a great holiday, and I'll see you next time on the next episode of Studio Creative Kids.